So today I'm finally getting the first koi fish back into the main pond. It's been about a month now since it got punctured, and then I got it fixed, and then the filter broke. Just had to fix that again. But now, you know, it's finally all back on track and flowing fine. And, you know, finally I can get the first fish back in. So the plan today is quite simple. My aim is to try and get some of the smaller fish back into the pond before I introduce the big ones in. I don't want to put the big ones in first, just in case something goes wrong. I'd rather not lose some of these larger fish. So the aim is to put in some of the slightly smaller ones, let them settle and see how they're doing. That way I'm not risking any of my more, precious fish, so to say. Just to give you an idea of what I'm talking about, when I'm saying smaller fish, I mean fish like this one here, and just sort of individuals of that size, which are actually from my fry last year. And the plan is by putting these smaller ones in, and then leaving big ones like this in here for a few more weeks, I can sort of let the pond cycle a bit easier, because the smaller fish produce less waste. That way, it's a little bit easier for the bacteria to catch up with the waste they're producing. If I put these big ones in straight away, the filter won't catch up. Now, I have had some goldfish in the pond, which I'll go show you now. These fish have been in the pond for about a week now, and they've had no issues, they've been eating well. So I'm pretty sure the filter has enough natural bacteria to handle the fish. But I just don't want to put in like 4 or 5 big fish and then they produce too much waste and the filter, bacteria crashes, ammonia spikes and all that. Which I will keep testing, but these guys have been doing fine. So I'll just introduce some slightly smaller ones to help increase the load, but not too drastically. But anyway, that's enough talking. Let's get these fish back in. So just to start off with, my plan was to catch 4 small koi to put in this tub. There was no particular ones I was looking for, it was really just any 4, and then I'd have a look at them and make sure I was happy with them. The plan really was just anything that was small. I had no particular type or pattern, but yeah, picked out 4 that I was happy with, and yeah. So just to start off with, I gathered up 4. From what I can remember, these 2 are males, and then these 2, I don't know. This is actually a fry from last year. It's doing quite well. It's quite big now, to be fair. And then yeah, these 2 are males. You obviously can tell by the gill plates on these. They're very rough. And this one's almost like sandpaper. Same with the fins as well. But yeah, these 4 were the first 4 I'm putting back in. And then also this one here, I'm actually not too sure where this one's from. But I thought it was a goldfish, to be fair. It has very comety goldfish looks to it, but it is in fact a koi. But yeah, I'll put this one back in as well. I might be selling this one eventually, because just for space, but it'd be nice to grow on for a bit. But yeah, these are the first I'll be putting back into the pond. I don't need to acclimate them because the temperature in here is the same as temperature out there. So that's a blessing of having it here. But yeah, we'll get these 4 back to the pond. So then I got to work getting them into the pond. I started by catching up the 2 smaller ones and then carrying them in the sock net and releasing them into the pond. They were quite happy, they swam away. And yeah, I was quite happy to get the first sort of main fish back into the pond. I sort of kept an eye on them and they all looked quite happy. And then it was the job of getting the bigger ones back in. These are a bit harder, they thrash around a lot, but this is quite a beautiful one. Both of these are males, as I said, longfin. And once again, I'm not sure where I got these fish from. I want to say I got it from a friend, but honestly, I cannot remember. But yeah, they're quite nice. And then finally, it was this large male. I want to say this one's about 45, 50 centimeters long. But it's quite thin, it's quite a small fish in terms of body shape. But yeah, another longfin male that I wanted to get back into the pond. But I have used these guys for breedings in the past, but I don't prefer to because the longfin isn't really desired in my opinion. I don't really like the longfin fish. But they're still quite pretty. Then I decided it was probably worth catching a few more, so I got another 4 out. Once again, there was no particular ones I was looking for, it was really just anything that was slightly smaller, less than 40, 50 centimeters was sort of the goal, just to get the small ones back in first. And then I got about 4 that I, felt like I wanted. One of them did jump out in the end, which is one of the males. I think you can just about see it here. So this is the next 4 I've got to put in. This is a fry from last year again. And then these 3, I actually don't know where I got these from. But, they're just quite nice. This one here I think is about 30, I'd say about 35 centimeters, I'm not too sure. I'm not too sure what type of fish koi this is, to be completely honest with you. Hyutsuri or something, I think. I'm not 100% sure, but it's quite nice. This one's a male, I think. Well, I've only just realised now I think this is a male after feeling its gill plates. They do feel quite rough. And then this one here is just another longfin. Quite beautiful, really nice scaling on this one. But we'll get these in the pond now. And for this I realised it was a bit pointless using the sock net. It just takes a bit too long. And I know my water's safe, so I just sort of tip them into the pond. It's less stress for the fish because they stay in the water and such. This one here is probably my personal favourite, and then this is a koi fry from last year. But yeah, this one here is a male, I think. After feeling its gills, I was pretty sure it's a male. So I think I'll just let those fish sit for about an hour or so, and then once they're done, I'll come back, check on them, make sure they're doing okay. I think 8 is all I'm going to be putting in today, just to sort of help stagger it. And then the next video I'll be putting some slightly other fish in, and then in the final video I'll be putting my larger fish back in. But I'll come back in an hour to see how the fish are doing. Well, it's been about an hour since I put the fish in, so let's go take a look at them. There you go, that's a bit easier. Do look pretty happy, so it's all good. I'll leave them in here for a few more days, see if they're all good, get them eating, and then once they look happy, I'll look to get the bigger fish back in. I'll be posting a video on that soon though. But yeah, they all look happy, so you know, I'm pleased to see they're all good now. You know, it's been a while trying to get this pond fixed. The pump's all running fine now as well. So you know, it's taken a few months, but we got it all fixed again after the disaster. But yeah, I'm happy to see they're all good. And yeah, hopefully in the next video I can get some of these bigger fish back in, and then finally have them all back out in the pond. I'll be leaving some in here still, just because it's nice to have fish in here. Mainly ones that I want to get rid of, and then just a couple of the goldfish as well. These ones here, they're sort of fancy, so I'll leave them in here. But that's it for today's video, guys. Hope you enjoyed, and catch you in the next one.